Moj dragi otrok, ne skrbi za mene, vodo. Hitro si opomoram s pesmijo naših ptic, z ljubeznijo dreves, z gibanjem trenutki počitka in molitvami, ki se gibljajo po naši zemlji. Ravnovesje si povrnem z vašimi srčnimi solzami, spominjam in pesmi, ki so se pridružile pesmim mnogih drugih. Ne osredotočajte svoje energije na reševanje mene. Zdaj se dogaja nekaj veliko bolj globokega. Poslušajte in opazujte. Vsi mi, zemlja, voda, rastline, zrak, živali in vsi predniki, k nam kličemo vas ljudi, da bi lahko rešili vaš človeški rod. Sedaj in že nekaj časa vemo, da vam ne preostane veliko časa, če se ne boste prebudili in sprejeli svoje rodne pravice, pripadnosti zemlji in se kmalu vrnili domov. Zelo kmalu. Še naprej umiramo, še naprej dajemo svoje življenja, da bi vas prebudili iz življenjske anestezije, svoje neizmerne žalosti in zmožnosti za ljubezen. Ko boste ustvarili prostore svete lepote, ki odpre vaše srce za to, kar ljubezen resnično je, boste ob obilici solza spoznali, da ste ves čas ljubljeni, da ste vedno bili in zavedno boste strani vseh nas, za katere mislite, da nas rešujete. Kot človeški rod imate 5 let časa, da se prebudite, dozorite in se spomnite v svojih kosteh, da pripadate življenju.
Thank you, Christina. I always feel that Slovenian has the sound of a free, wild river to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for entering this conversation with me. So we are day 18 of 30. And I wonder if you could read that sentence again in Slovenian, which is when you take the depth of such a love, or something like that, when you can accept the depth of such a love. Do you remember?
Ko boste ustvarili svete prostore lepote, ki odpre vaše srce, zato ker ljubezen resnično je, boste v obilici solza spoznali, da ste ves čas ljubljeni, da ste vedno bili in zavedno boste. Strani vseh nas, za katere mislite, da nas rešujete.
So this is our line. This is our connection has been through love. And I met you in 2018 on your land, on your waters. And since then, we have spun a thread of connection as soul apprentices and grief apprentices, and cried so much together, oceans. I think we've made oceans. And we're still working together, holding space for others. And I'm very grateful for that. I wondered if you could share what at the moment touches you the most about this message, what moves through you in this time on the 18th of November 2021. We are 12 days away from the end of the message. I wonder if you could share something.
Yeah, the water message. I get very emotional when I speak of it, because it was the water message and the work of grief composting, my entrance into the space of grief and tears and love that really opened and changed my inner landscape of just being in this world. And it's like you said, we met on this land, and it changed me. It gave me permission to really feel all the grief that I've been feeling my entire life, which was never witnessed or heard. I've never had a space to really share it, and to bring the thread of the water message of, of the land and the water and the plants and all the beings calling us to our grief. That really, it changed me. It not only changed who I was, but it changed my relationships to my family, to my children, to what I want to do in this life, what I want to offer, where are my longings. And the message, when it says we keep on dying, we keep on giving our lives to shake you up from a deep and very long amnesia, that is what happened to me. It woke me up. It opened all the gates of grief that I didn't even know that they exist before having this experience in the ritual, and with having this sacred prayer with the message. It got me longing to enter a conversation with death. It brought me on this path of wanting to be close to death on an everyday basis. It really brought me to this longing to work with the dying. I entered a space of being present with the dying through my work as an end-of-life doula, death doula, which for me brings me in conversation with death on a daily basis, so I can be in this space where the veil is really thin and I can enter this sacred space. And it got me thinking, how can I be more like the animals and the air and all of the beings that are offering this death? Where's my service in that? Can I be more like them as well?
Oh, very beautiful. There's a few threads that really touched me. One was, I haven't heard it like this before, when you said the other beings are holding us in our grief. Wow. I haven't heard the message this way before. You said it this way. And of course, it of course connects to the Council of All Being, which is very strong at the moment, calling us. Oh, and I wonder if you could speak to what is also when you build, when you create spaces of sacred beauty. So it's something you have done in response to that, which is extraordinary. And maybe if you could speak to that. And there's another question that goes with it. So it has a time, 5 years. And as you know, because you're so involved, it closes, this 5-year prayer ceremony closes in less than 2 weeks. If you could speak to that as well in your understanding, in your experience of that timing, and what you're doing every Saturday as well, because it's so incredibly inspiring. I'm sure many people would like to hear.
Yeah. When you create containers to shake your beauty, that opens your heart to what you love, to what love truly is. That, like, this strong sentence, this invitation for humans to enter the space of this beauty really called out to me. It was inspired by what we have done in the Earth Tenders group. That was in April. We did a ceremony of bringing altars back to life, and we placed little earth altars, mandalas, whatever you call them, around the city when we were here right in our first lockdown. And that participation in that act and that offering, weaved me into this message even in stronger by thinking, what can I do in me? What can I do in the middle of all the madness that was around me at that moment and still is? And the experience really encouraged me to continue doing that on a regular basis. Like we started in because there's more people involved. We started in August in front of the Parliament. So a special, beautiful lady that was also at the same time offering her work, because she was through meditation offering work, and we paired up and we said, we need to do something. We need to do something to keep the sanity. And so we started, and it started with bringing this altar in front of this place of the Parliament, where everything is gray and dull and just symbolizes our culture, everything, the colonization. And it was no better space than to actually do it right there, bring the beauty right there in this square of grayness and concrete and all this grief that we feel, and really be there in a way to offer beauty. So we started each week, each Saturday, and making altars, and then it developed into a ceremony where everyone would show up and honor what we brought in our hearts, like loads of what we were bringing and carrying and having, feeling. There was a space for it to be released through tears and words or stories. A space we could, just escape our mind and just enter the space of the heart and give voice to all the gratitude that is here right now. And through our feelings, honor what life is still giving us, even though we think so much has been taken away in this year. And to wake up to this memory that life it might not be so abundant all the time, and to really nourish that and show reciprocity of the exchange. So as we're bringing all these flowers and seeds and offerings, we're also having a conversation with the plants and the rivers. And so it's not just of the ceremony there, it's the ceremony that goes on in our everyday life with our preparation to come there. So it's a really deepening process for all of us involved. I can't speak for others, but what they share is we're deepening that conversation. We're remembering how to listen again before we just go off and pick the flowers, and to nourish this. And it's a way to keep our hearts open. It's a way of a protest. That's definitely was a way to protest what's been going on, because there's so much asked of us to shut down, to distance, to close off. So in the midst of all this that's going on in society, it felt like, okay, this is something that we need to nourish, to tend, to keep our hearts open. So it was really medicine, as we bring ourselves to the ceremony. We share, and that really eliminates the separation. We enter humility. I don't know, it's to be willing to act with courage, because it is very courageous to be willing to have your heart opened.
Sure.
And keep it open, and to go over the pride, and be able to share whatever comes in whichever form, and to build this relationship not only with gratitude, but it's called gratitude and beauty and community. But the minute we enter our gratitude, we touch on our grief. There's they swim together, and it changes our lives and how we react to everything that goes around us, how we act outwardly from one Saturday to the next. So it's
yes.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. You have mentioned August, but you haven't mentioned the year. So actually you've been going on since 2020, and it's been more than a year, if I'm right, every Saturday, with rain, with the altar being taken down, with every weather, inner and outer weather. And that, to me, when I am so in awe of this. And to me, it is really acting on the message. It seems to, as I listen to you again, we've talked about this so often, and I have so much, it nourishes me profoundly to see what it does, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it grows in the heart of the land and the heart of the people and the waters and the children and the animals and all, when we act on the message of water. That's really what is showing me that you're probably one of the most something that has acted on. in the
Mm.
fullness of the message.
Mm.
That is what is it really to me it's showing me what soul and sacred activism is, and what action is within love. That love is about action and repeated devotion and commitment and weathering, like the love of a mother, as we know, both of you, you and me, how that unconditional love, that kind of deep current movement towards what is true and what is right and what is fair and what supports the thriving of all of life. And that's what I see and hear, and how inspiring. I really want this story spread widely and deeply and profoundly, like a handful of loved seeds, especially in places of great despair and of places of great dictatorship and horrendous, which is increasing all over our world. And we know, and to me, this story, this living story that you and others in Ljubljana, we haven't mentioned the place yet.
Oh,
That's where you're
yeah.
in Slovenia. Anyway, it's all written down. Yeah, perhaps I want to ask you. This is a very practical thing, but just briefly, if people want to join you, they come to the Parliament every Saturday afternoon, right? Is that right?
Yeah, we're there every Saturday at 5. Many times people just drop by. Oh yeah.
So can we go back to the 5 years? I have some, so I'm going to share still what's alive in me about my understanding as a way of conversation with you and see what resonates, but also see what's different. At the moment, I'm still with the wisdom of this message being that we had this time to prepare and that we are beyond time of preparation and that we will enter another phase which looks like more about responding to crisis and more and helping out and supporting each other and supporting and just giving our lives away for life to thrive. Not everyone will respond that way. We know that. We're not naive anymore, right? You and I. We know, and that is part of the maturation, is to hold all the paradox of what it is to be a human being. Some will respond with great generosity, some with great greed, and that is how it is. And the second one, at the moment, really strong, is this message is bringing the Council of All Being, which I've been working with for on and off 25 years, which is based on a book called Thinking Like Mountain by 4 different people, which I won't name now because I can't remember them all. Which is the dying to our separatedness, to our separation. They are calling us, all the other being, to die to our separation, which is, to me, the root of all our pain, our suffering, and to come back to the web of life. Now, the web of life has changed, I imagine, than its original state, for sure, because now it includes also extinction caused by human activity, which, if I'm aware enough, is the first time that this is happening. So these two of it's the end of a time of preparation, and it's time to die to our separation and us and return to the web of life. That is what I'm holding as we approach the end of this 5 year. And I wonder what is moving through you in approaching the end of the message.
to touch on what you've said, I think I feel the thread between what you've said and what I'm feeling. The death of separation, which the water message definitely holds, this dying to so many things that I thought that were building my life. Just the little deaths of everyday life, the relationships. What I'm doing, what I really want to do, the jobs, the survival, how should I put it? The expectations that are placed upon me, not so much by myself, but from the society. The death of keeping silent, of being told that the stars don't speak and the waters don't listen and the trees don't speak to us. Remembering that conversation that is so alive within us, but yet so sometimes contained to fit, So dying of all of these masks that we had to really put on ourselves to survive. For me, that is most alive right now, is to really honor my own authenticity and whatever that brings of me, and to really go back to holding hands, to holding my hands open to the land, and it's to all of our ancestors. To die off the silence. To drink from this spring of water that offers unconditionally, and to not surrender to our loneliness. To be able to go more deeply into the compost, to stay there, to remain in the dark, to really be there and not be rushed to follow the next and the next and the next step, and just take time for things to ferment, to season.
Oh, Christina, I really want to celebrate the poet in you. I'm really feeling her presence this morning, and how you have this medicine, I would imagine, a medicine of touching heart and opening heart. I'm so grateful. We're gonna wrap up soon. I know it's gone super fast. It's been such a beautiful conversation. And I also want to say in this conversation that Christina and I holding grief composting space. You're very invited and welcome and legitimate with everything that you are experiencing. Now we come undone most of the time, Christina and I. We've fallen apart mostly, inshallah, hopefully. So just wondered, Christina, just as a wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to say? And this time, on behalf of water, speaking as water, and perhaps to the river Dart. You know, is there something you'd like to say? Yeah. Awesome.
So I live the river, and I go to her every day. And what she says to me is, "Come, just come, come to us." And there's always, you know, you can always hear the whispers of healing when you sit by a river. So yeah, the invitation would be to just come, show up.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful to the River Dart for yeah.
Thank you. So I'm gonna read it in English so we hear her voice, and we'll so I want to thank you, Christina. I'm gonna read the message and then we will turn off. So bless you, dear sister and friend. So here we go. River Dart, 2nd of December 2016. My dear child, do not worry about me, water. I recovered quickly with the song of our birds, the love of trees, with movement, moments of rest, and the prayers moving around our earth. I regained balance with your heartfelt tears, your remembered songs, added to the ones of so many now. Do not focus your energy on saving me. Something way more profound is taking place right now. Listen and observe. All of us, soil, water, plants, air, animals, and all ancestors, are calling you, human, to us, so we can save your species. We know and have known for a while that you do not have much time left if you do not wake up to your birthright belonging to Earth and come home soon, real soon. We keep dying. We keep giving away our lives to shake you up from a deep and very long amnesia. Once you can allow the truth and quality of such love to permeate through your traumatized being and desolate soul, you will wake up from a lifetime of anesthesia to your immense grief and capacity for love. When you create containers of sacred beauty that opens your heart to what love truly is, then you will realize with a massive soul that you were loved all along, always have, and forever by all of us who you think you are saving. You have 5 years as a species to wake up, mature, and remember in your bones that you belong to life. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, Azul.